Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. It's Kendall again. If you have not yet, please subscribe and also feel free to like the video and also feel free to check out some of my other content. What I do and what I've been trying to do on my channel is to tell stories, whether it's telling stories using tech and talking about why I use the tech that I use, or art like this, that kind of thing. And I thought I would show you today how I go about creating a comic strip. And what I usually do, I usually don't always start on my tablet. As much as I love to start working on a comic strip on my tablet, that's great, but I also enjoy drawing it out. So what I thought I would do is show you the comic strip I'm gonna try to draw today. And I wanted to give you kind of an idea of what I've been doing. So the name of my comic strip is called By and By. And By and By is the story of an 11-year-old boy on the autism spectrum trying to survive middle school and life. And it's him and his friends, and they go on all kinds of crazy misadventures. So I did this drawing, and I used like, I want to say I used like one of my, not really a regular ink pen, but it was just one of these kind of pens. And of course I have like a ton of different pens and pencils in here, but I wanted to do a 3-panel strip. So sometimes when I'm creating a strip, I write it down or I'll draw it out here. I need to really make more of a habit of actually writing my scripts rather than just drawing it out first. But then again, maybe the kind of the mixture of drawing and writing it, I'll try to do going forward. So I'm gonna have that in front of me. I also just wiped down my desk because it was a mess earlier. And yeah, I tend to work and sometimes eat here. So just like I did this comic strip, my goal is to create another comic strip. And you all, I'm gonna do my best. I'm usually pretty good about presenting and doing things at the same time. So if you get a lot of uhs and from me, forgive me. So I'm using Procreate. Procreate's one of my favorite tools for drawing. Let me do something real quick. I want to brighten the screen real quick, and it probably would be good for you all to be able to see what's going on. One day, maybe I'll do a what's on my iPad type of video. I'm using the iPad Pro. It was given to me as a Christmas gift because there was no way that I could afford it. So I am putting that together. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna activate Page Assist. Wait, not Page Assist, Drawing Guide. Drawing Guide helps me to put lines down to determine where I want my lines to be as far as creating panels. Now, what I could have done, I mean, certainly I could have just done a thing where I could have gotten the original strip and just erased, like for example, the original one. I could have just erased the box here and then just erased the other boxes here and the other stuff here. Or what I could do, what I was about to do, was go through the process of just creating panels along these lines. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. What I like about Procreate also, I'm trying to make these boxes about this size. There we go. And what I like about Procreate is that when I make these lines, when I hold for so long, they actually straighten out by themselves. And this, you know, having Procreate, it's made a huge difference for me. And just drawing on an iPad has made a huge difference for me as it relates to my comic strip work and other illustration work that I do. The other thing about drawing, or my previous experience as far as drawing goes, I actually was drawing on a Windows Surface, which I actually really liked. And it ran perfectly well. And then I accidentally broke it. In fact, one day I pulled it out of a bag that was in my office, and I saw the glass was broken on this Surface Pro. In fact, I think I had the Surface Pro 3 or 4. I think it was the 3. And so that wasn't great. So as it relates to this, so I created my boxes. I created the panels, and of course now I can come up here and I can turn off drawing guide, and this is my panel so far. I'm of course going to find myself using a couple of different layers because I tend to put each drawing on its own layer. So by the end of it all, in fact, since this is one layer, which by the way, you can rename these things. So if I wanted to, I could do like, okay, these are panels, and then my new layer is going to be, so I could do like panel 1, that kind of thing. And this will be good. So then I'll do that for panel 1. So what I sometimes do, I'll sometimes screenshot with my iPad an image like this and then overlay it and then try to see if I could do sort of kind of a tracing of it all, or sometimes I redraw it. What I think I'll do is actually take a picture of it. One of the things I'm grateful for about this journey of creating comics is that for me, I did all of my stuff on paper, which I ought to do a video on that journey, on what it was like to just draw on paper before there was an iPad and before I had any kind of drawing tablets or digital drawing anything. So I'm very grateful for having this, but I'm also grateful for those times that I was able to start on paper and discover the fact that I really loved different types of pens and pencils and things like that. So as you can see, I can kind of overlay the image like that, but then in fact I'm gonna have to, since I did that, I'm gonna have to rename that panel. So for that later, I mean. So just gonna, or I could have just renamed it reference, and then I'm gonna also lower the opacity over it so I can actually see what I'm doing. And I thought about this comic strip. I thought about this storyline because who hasn't had the bad dream where they were in their underwear in public? So I said to myself, this would be sort of relatable, or at least I think it would be. So, in fact, I think I might lower the size a bit. And part of me wonders, do I want to do studio pen or do I want to do dry ink? Now I'll do studio pen. I like the studio pen better. I'm still trying to discover what style do I like to do my characters in as it relates to the pen type, and that has been just kind of a journey for me. And of course I've been drawing. Well, I've done drawing since I was a kid, but the thing about it is this of course was not my first, wasn't my first, thing it wasn't the thing I went to school for. So I didn't go to school to study art, and so I'm really self-taught, and I'm grateful that I'm self-taught by some great artists, many who are online and who are out doing their thing. So one of the things about drawing, that's one good thing about drawing on the iPad, is that I could come back and fix a mistake or fix an issue, and then I could keep it moving. Thing is I will say I'm grateful that I've also been learning how to just take my time. I don't have to rush or anything like that. So we got that going. And then if I were to turn the image off, that's what we've got going so far. Now, what I can do, I could just do that. I thought about, because what would give it kind of a neat little kind of cartoony look is the look of like a shirt that's been that's been colored in with the ink there. So I could do that. I think I will do that. I could have just dropped in black for a black shirt, but I wanted to kind of go with how I did the coloring on paper. I usually don't write the letters in or do the bubbles yet until after I've drawn all the characters. So I'll just leave that as is. Okay, so that's the first layer. Now, I want to come back and just kind of straighten it out so I can have a little bit of, move the reference over just a little bit. And I get to have a little fun with this part, because I didn't want to do a panel here because I wanted to kind of give that kind of illusion of just this hole that is a swirling vortex, and have my character Walter in it, falling in it. This was the hardest thing to put together, even on paper. But I figured since it was on paper, it's not like I had to. It's not like at first, as I was brainstorming it had to be perfect the first time, and so. Look of terror. See, there we go. Then I could always, there we go. Figured I would drop like black in there. Again, definitely the hardest thing this was literally the hardest thing to put together when I was doing this particular strip idea. And I said, "Oh, this will be fun. I could totally do this." And I said, and of course, I don't know what I was thinking when I said that to myself. I have no idea what I was thinking. I just had the idea. But the thing is that, of course, you're gonna be, people in art are always a little critical of themselves. So, you know, unnecessarily overly critical group sex. But you know, but I also understand, you know, wanting to, you know, bring like amazing work and not be, you know, and not be, you know, too, and not, you know, and not well, you want to be best. You want to be best. You want to do your best, and I get that. You want to do well of not, you know, of not. Well, you want to bring good art. That's what I'm saying. So what I could do is, that's what I should have done right there. And then again, weird. Okay. And then now, so I can actually see what I'm doing, I'm going to create kind of in fact, what I think I'll do is create a vortex in the background, or create a vortex and then put it in the background. That way I won't damage the image itself. Let's see. I wonder if it'll, for whatever reason, it's not showing exactly like I'd hoped. Okay, let me try something else. So I came back to this layer. And then I'll color the shirt like I did the first one in the first panel. Oh, and you know what? How could I forget Walter's hair? Of course, it's kind of, there we go. And then, of course, I know I've got to make sure that I have room. That's the other thing. You know, I've got to make sure that I have room for the captions. And I'm going to adjust my... Now, sometimes when I'm drawing, I set it up to where the tablet is sitting up for me a little bit, so I can. The good news about having this particular kind of case is that I could set it up like, yeah, just a little bit like that. So that'll be good. So, and we got to adjust for you all. Of course, I know that looking at this image, there we go. So I'll have room for the caption up there. I'll already have room up there for the caption. And then I'll put Walter and his friend Dylan in a shot together talking. So I'll move to the layer with the reference, move the reference down a bit, and I'll do a much nicer version of Walter and his friend Dylan talking. Whoops. Not that I need this illustration reference, just when I was drawing Walter years ago, he looked, he did not look anywhere close to this at the time. When I drew Walter, he had a very boxy head, and he also was he and he also had no, he really didn't even have a top of a head. He just had hair. And so for a while, that's how I drew my character. Well, at least Walter, except for Dylan. Dylan, who is Walter's kind of advisor on cool. You know, he's the kid that knows a bunch about what's going on with the students. Only he's not really popular. Like, he's really kind of, he really just kind of knows all the tea. So, and then I distinguish the characters with certain types of clothes that they wear. With Dylan, he wears a shirt with a stripe over it. And usually when I color the characters, Dylan's shirt has like a green stripe, and then Walter's tips of his shirts down to, at the bottom of his shirt, as whenever I do draw that part, the lower half, and then here usually I make those either. Usually I make them blue, and then his shirt is yellow. And so they're like a table there, and then I'm giving them enough room to talk there. So right now, when you take the references out, then you have the comic strip right now as is. And then what I'll do is that I'll put the words and the letters up. And that's one of the good things about Procreate that I really love. I'm also going to go on ahead and come up here, and I'm going to erase a section of this vortex, and I'm going to allow that to be a place where I can have room to actually write the lettering here, or write the text there, and also have like a box. So that'll be good. I'll make like a kind of a box where Walter's talking, of course, in this moment, but I use you use a square box, like a lot of comics where you're using the square box for either a thought or for the continuation of the conversation. Where here, and of course I could do the box there. I did like a speech bubble in the paper, but I think it's actually accurate to do the square here, and then speech bubbles here where they're talking. So that's gonna be fun.